Hi, welcome to my channel. I thought I'd do the next part of Ireland's Vanishing Triangle. This is Ireland's biggest unsolved mystery. It was a series of women who disappeared. They were all around the same age, around the same area, and all vanished without a trace in the 90s. There are different theories about what happened. A lot of people think it was a serial killer. I spoke about the cases of Annie McCarrick and Eva Brennan, and today I'm going to talk about the third woman who disappeared, and her name was Imelda Keenan. The families of all of these women are still searching for the truth and regularly appeal for information, so I think it's important that we keep these women's names alive and out there. If you like this kind of thing, please give this video a like, subscribe for more, and let's get started. First up, a disclaimer. This is all information that I found online and put together myself to share with you guys. I mean absolutely no disrespect to anyone in this video, and I'm not going to be giving any of the suspects' real names because no one has ever been officially charged in this case. So, less than 6 months after Eva Brennan went missing, Imelda Keenan disappeared, and just like the two cases before her, it was as if she vanished into thin air. Imelda was 22 years old. She was originally from Laois and was described as a quiet, unassuming woman. Her brother Jerry said that she was his shy little sister and that she wasn't a great mixer. She didn't have that many friends. She seemed to prefer to do her own thing. She was 5'4" and thin-built with brown hair and blue eyes. She was from a large family and had a lot of siblings, and it appears that they were all very close. She loved visiting her family and doting on her nieces and nephews. When she was a teenager and living in Laois, her brother Jerry brought her to Waterford, where he was living for a holiday. Imelda absolutely fell in love with Waterford. She loved that it was so close to the beach and she really wanted to live there. Two of her brothers were already living there, and so at 15 years old she moved to Waterford to live with Jerry. She finished her education in a local school and then started attending a computer course. She began dating a man named Mark, and they got engaged and moved in together to an apartment on William Street. They were together for 5 years before Imelda disappeared, and by all accounts were very happy. There was no date set for the wedding, but they were planning on getting married in Rome. On January 3rd, 1994, Imelda disappeared. It was a Monday, an ordinary day for Imelda and Mark. It was right after the Christmas and New Year's period, so they were just hanging around their apartment. Imelda washed her hair, she made Mark a cup of tea, and then she did her makeup and told Mark that she was going to the post office to pick up her dole and that she would be back soon. The dole is a unemployment payment benefit that you can get in Ireland if you're not working, and Imelda wasn't working at the time. She was doing her computer course. So she left for the post office and she left the apartment at 1:30 p.m. After she left the apartment, she was spotted by a local doctor's secretary who recognized her. She knew her well, and she spotted Imelda crossing the road. The doctor's secretary was driving her car, and she said Imelda stopped in the middle of the road to let her car pass, and then she watched Imelda continue to cross the street, turn the corner at Tower Hotel, and go onto another street, and that was the last confirmed sighting of Imelda. After a couple of hours, Mark was concerned that she hadn't returned, so he called her brother Ned. And Ned wasn't too worried because he said it had only been a couple of hours and she should be back soon. But by that evening, she still hadn't returned, so Ned and Mark went out together to look for her. When Imelda didn't turn up, she was reported missing to the Gardaí, the Irish police force. They called Imelda's mother and told her that Imelda was missing. Her mother was shocked but tried to justify it that, oh, she must have gone to a party and she'll be back soon. But Imelda wasn't the type that had a big group of friends and would just go off to a party. Her family appealed for any information or any sightings of her. She was wearing leopard print leggings, a white jumper, a blue denim jacket, and black shoes. The Gardaí were slow to act on her disappearance. Similar to Eva Brennan, the woman that went missing before Imelda, the family felt that the Gardaí weren't prioritizing this case. They didn't do a forensic examination of her apartment. They labeled her disappearance unsuspicious. But they did search extensively the river shore, the river right by where Imelda went missing, but unfortunately nothing turned up. Some of these cases of Ireland's Vanishing Triangle, they had different theories, different clues, But with Imelda's case, there just really wasn't much to go on. It just appeared that she vanished into thin air. Of course, when someone just disappears like that, one common theory is always going to be that they ended their own life. You know, Imelda was right beside a river when she disappeared. Could she have jumped in or fallen in or been pushed in? Locals in the area said whenever someone did disappear into the river, it didn't take long for a body to show up. And Gardaí did search it extensively right after she disappeared, and again a decade later, looking for any trace of Imelda, but nothing showed up. No clues, no clothing, no body, nothing. Her family also don't believe that she would have done anything to herself. She was happy. She was planning on getting married. She was doing a computer course that she enjoyed. Her family strongly denied that there was anything wrong with her mental health. They had spent a lot of time with her over the Christmas period, and there had been nothing to suggest that she was down or troubled in any way. There was a theory that she had just taken off, run away to start a new life, but I don't think that makes much sense in this case. She hadn't even brought her glasses with her, you know, that she wore most of the time. She also left her bag and cigarettes at home, which was quite uncommon for her, and that suggests that she was planning on a very short trip and she would be back soon. Her credit union where her money was remained untouched, and there was unopened Christmas presents under the tree still. There's nothing to suggest that she was planning on leaving, and I don't think many people believe that theory. There's only one question mark in this whole case, and that is that Imelda went to the post office to collect her doll, but there are two circumstances which meant that wouldn't have been possible. The first is that it was a bank holiday Monday and the post office would be closed. It was the Monday right after New Year's, so it wouldn't have been open, so she couldn't have collected it. And the second is that you need ID when you're collecting your doll, and she forgot her ID in her bag at home. Both of these things could be very reasonably explained. You know, she might have forgotten that it was a bank holiday Monday. It was right after the Christmas and New Year's period, and if you're not working or you're not in college, the days can merge into one, and it can be very easy to just make that mistake. And with the ID, you do need ID to collect your doll in Ireland. But back then, if they recognized you and if they knew you from regularly coming in, they might not ask for it. And maybe Imelda was in that position, so she didn't need to bring it. It's the only question mark about this whole case, but I think it was just a simple case of forgetfulness. I don't think it really meant anything. Since that last sighting of Imelda, there really hasn't been anything more. None of her belongings or clothing ever turned up. No one ever came forward to say they had any sightings of her. In 2012, Gardaí did receive a tip in relation to her case, and they searched a derelict bungalow in Ferrybank, which was a short drive away from where she was last seen. Everyone hoped that this would be it, that they would find her body and be able to give her the burial that she deserved, but unfortunately nothing was found, and it was proved to be a false tip. The main theory for all of the women that went missing in Ireland's Vanishing Triangle is that it was one serial killer. There is a main suspect that a lot of people think it was, but I'm not going to give his name. I've spoken about him in the other videos, but I'm not going to give his name because he has never been charged and there isn't any evidence to tie him to any of these cases. But a lot of people are convinced that it is one person responsible. Imelda's family are still asking for answers. There's a plaque dedicated to Imelda on the street where she used to live, right by where she went missing. Every year on the anniversary of her death, her family gathers there because there's no grave. That's all they want at this point. They want to be able to bury Imelda with her parents. They've offered a reward and they have a Facebook page dedicated to Imelda and details of her disappearance. They are determined to keep searching and hope that one day someone will come forward with information that means that they can lay Imelda to rest. Her brother said he is not out for revenge. He just wants to end his pain and know where her remains are so he can give her a proper burial. I'll put links below if anyone has any information to get in touch with the right people, and hopefully one day Imelda's family can get some closure. I'm going to do the rest of the cases in future videos, so if you don't want to miss them, make sure you hit that notification bell. And that's it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye!